Here's a map of Krakow, Poland, and on it I'm showing you where I'm starting out on my bike ride. I'm starting out here in Park Krakowski and showing you the route that I'm going to take to get to the city center. And I also marked off a few other places on the map that are featured in other videos that I made. So my Airbnb apartment, the milk bar, the city center, Rheinick-Glauni Square, and the Krakow-Glauni train station. This is Park Krakowski, and it's kind of a long park. It's not huge, it's about 12.5 acres, but it's really nice. You see it has a man-made pond. There's a lot of people hanging out, even this lady's on her scooter with her kid. I came here on the weekend also. There's a lot of things going on. There's vendors selling things. There's a lot of classes being done on the grass, like yoga classes and classes for kids and things to entertain kids. So it's a pretty cool park. One block over is where my Airbnb apartment was. So it was a pretty good location. And this park is right on the ring of Adam Mickiewicz Avenue. It's kind of a ring around Krakow, and Adam Mickiewicz is Poland's most famous writer, poet, all kinds of things. So now I'm coming to the intersection here, and across the street on the right is a campus, university, science and technology university, and they have multiple buildings. So it's a pretty big campus for being right in the middle of the city here. Also, a little further down past the university is the Krakow National Museum. So there's a lot of things going on off of this avenue here, the Adam Mickiewicz. And this building is one of the university buildings. I believe it's a geological college. But what I like about it is these cool worker kind of Soviet statues that look like obviously they're from Soviet times. They have that kind of look to them. I guess since it's a geological college, it makes sense that these workers have pickaxes, like maybe they're miners or something. Also, I mean, Poland has the salt mines, so that might be part of it or tied into it. So now I'm going to cross the avenue and head into kind of the first ring of the old town. And the cool thing about Krakow is that during World War II, not a lot of the buildings were destroyed like someplace like Warsaw was. So you still have a lot or most of these old type of buildings that, you know, have a lot of character, and they don't build these kinds of buildings anymore. So it's cool to see, and just riding down the street, you see all kinds of different ones. It's not cookie cutter. All the buildings don't look the same, so that's pretty cool. Not sure how much these apartments cost to rent or buy out here, but they are pretty close to the actual Rheinick-Glauni Square, so I imagine they're a lot more expensive than somewhere on the outer skirts. But you have the convenience of a lot of stores close by. You have a lot of restaurants. Speaking of restaurants, on the left-hand side here, you can see Bar Milkeni or Milk Bar. I did a video on that already, on the Milk Bar. So that was the place right there. And right on my right, you probably can't see it, but that block right there is a hospital. So yeah, you can see it a little bit, but So you have a hospital right here, you have a milk bar, you have a lot of restaurants, you have a lot of bars, and everything is pretty much within walking distance. I'm kind of taking a detour here. I could have went straight left up that street and hit the second ring of the old town, where it's the park that surrounds the old town. So I'm kind of taking a alternate route just to see the neighborhood and see more of these buildings and see what it's like. And even though this is the city center, it doesn't look that crowded. I mean, it looks like there's a lot of parking spaces. You see, there's not millions of cars coming up the street there once in a while. And one thing I noticed about Krakow, I don't know if this holds through all of Poland, but nobody honks their horn out here. Almost never. I don't know if it's because of a lack of traffic or not a lot of congestion, or they're just kind of really relaxed and laid back. But in all my bicycling, I haven't heard anybody honk a horn. Even when I was blocking somebody's parking spot, they just I was checking my phone and I was in a parking spot and I was oblivious that somebody was waiting, and they just waited there patiently until I looked up and I realized that they were waiting there for that spot. Now, if you were in New York or someplace, or any place in Asia, I think, there would be, you would hear about it. They'd be honking at you to get out of the way. So I guess that's a good thing if you like a kind of slower paced life, but still have the city experience here. Krakow is, to me, that kind of city. And so here I'm coming up on the park that goes around, I guess, the square, Rheineck Glauni Square. So you can walk the whole park around it. It's pretty cool, and there's a lot of bike trails and whatever. And there's even, I guess, what do you call these, trams or cable cars or something that go around. So it's a really nice city, really walkable, good for biking also. It's really bike friendly. So I'm heading in the direction of Zaweska Street, which is a pretty main street that heads into the town square. I did the video the other day about Krakow nightlife, and it pretty much centers on Zaweska Street. So you get a good look at what it looks like during the daytime when just your regular everyday tourists are out, as opposed to nighttime when it's more of a younger crowd that are looking to drink or dance or hit the clubs. So here is Zaweska here, and you see there's the bike rental racks of Wayvelo, which is the bike that I'm riding right now. So I'm riding one of those bikes you see right there. Really easy to rent, really cheap, really good terms. So I can't complain. I think they're a really good bike rental in Krakow, Poland. So this is Zaweska. Here's Pizzatopia, pretty good pizza place I ate at. You kind of make your own pizza, kind of like Subway, where they have a bunch of different toppings and cheeses and meats, and you pick out all your toppings you want, and they cook it for you. And it's kind of like a long slab of pizza, which is actually really good. So check it out if you're on Zaweska. So on the left is Banja Luka. That's the bar that I started out on my nightlife video. And on the corner here is Costa Coffee and a Starbucks. So you see, in the daytime even, this place is still pretty crowded, got a lot of things going on. Here's McDonald's, a Burger King, and here we're coming up on the square. So this is a much better look to see what it really looks like during the daytime. And like I said, these people that you see here, um, most of them are pretty much daytime tourists, because at nighttime they all disappear. I don't know where they go. Maybe they're just staying in, or they're at some restaurant or something. But at midnight or 1 o'clock, you pretty much mostly see just college age kind of students running around from bar to bar over here, as opposed to in the daytime here you see a lot of older tourists, families, retirees. You see groups of older retirees in tour packages or whatever coming over here. It's a really popular place with all ages. And these are the bars, bars and restaurants mostly that line the square. So a lot of people are hanging out in the daytime having a lunch, and like I said, the older crowd hangs out in these restaurants at night, just sits down and maybe has some dinner and stays till midnight or something, having a few appetizers and drinks. But this is kind of like the calm area. Down the side streets are where most of the bars and the clubs are. And you also have these carriage rides with the horse-drawn carriages, and most of the ones I see have a guy driving the horse and a pretty young girl dressed up in kind of, I guess, a period costume of maybe what they used to wear when they drove these things. I don't know, but it's a pretty cool scene. I don't know where they go with these things, how far they go, but a lot of people seem to like them. They're pretty popular. As a sign of the times, though, a lot of these girls that I saw when they were out riding and about, that one guy is handling the horses, and the girls kind of sitting there looking pretty. A lot of times they're just on their phone, I don't know, chatting with somebody or something. So it's pretty funny to see. Here they are in this old transportation, and she's texting her friends or maybe posting some pictures to Facebook. But anyway, this is a good look of the old town in the daytime, what it looks like. It's pretty big, and inside that middle thing there is a bunch of stalls of kind of touristy trinkets and clothing and goods and things like that. So this is my video of the old town, and if you like it, subscribe or give me a thumbs up. I'm going to put out some more videos. I have more videos of me on bike riding around in different areas of Krakow, but mostly around the old town kind of areas. So thanks for watching.